Okay, so the first thing we are going to look at the moment is factorising quadratics. And what we'll go back to is expanding quadratics first, or expanding brackets. Let's suppose we have x plus 3 and x plus 4, and we're expanding that. So we get x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 12. And so what we end up with is x squared plus 7x plus 12. And what you should notice is that this 12 is just 3 times 4. And this 7 is 3 plus 4. So when we're going the other way, we're looking for two numbers that multiply together to give this and add together to give the 7. If we've got x plus 2 and x plus 5, again, we're going to get the x squared plus 5x plus 2x plus 10. And when we collect like terms, we're going to get x squared plus 7x plus 10. Again, how do we get this 10? 2 times 5. How do we get the 7? 2 plus 5. So when we're factorising and doing this in reverse, that's what we're looking for. Two numbers that multiply together give 10, add together give 7. Does it work with negatives? X minus 1 times x plus 4. What do we get? We get x squared plus 4x minus x minus 4. So we get x squared plus 3x minus 4 again. How do we get the minus 4? 4 times minus 1. How do we get the 3? 4 plus minus 1. So again, it's the product and the sum. So when we're going the other way and we want to factorise x squared plus 6x plus 8, if we want to factorise that, we're looking for two numbers that multiply together give 8 and add together to give 6. And we might even say that this is 1x, so it's 1 times 8 is 8 and 6. So the factors of 8 are 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. We're going to use the 2 and the 4 because they add together to give 6. So x plus 2, x plus 4. And that's pretty much all it is. If we have x squared minus 2x minus 15, what are we looking for? Two numbers that multiply together to give 15, add together to give minus 2. So again, we can write out the factors. 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. We want to get to minus 2, so this is going to be 3 minus 5 is going to get us to minus 2. So it's going to be plus 3 and minus 5. And that's how we do factorise quadratics. Now, the only difference to that is if there is a number out the front, 2x squared. This is for monics, or something called monics. We want to factorise this, and we'll make that a 10 so it works. So 2x squared minus x minus 10. Again, it's going to be something to do with multiplies together to give something this, adds together this. The only difference is this is 2 times 10 we are going to look at. So it's times two numbers that multiply together to give minus 20. 2 times minus 10 is minus 20 and add together to give this. Now the factors of are 20, 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. How are we going to get to minus 1? This 4 and 5. So that's what we write out. It's going to be, we split this into this. So it's going to be 2x squared plus 4x minus 5x minus 10. So instead of doing it this way, because the 2's there, 2 times 10 is 20 or minus 20, we found our factors that are going to give the minus x, and 4x minus 5x gives us the minus x. And now we're going to look at these in parts, and this always works. look at this. Is there a common factor? It is a common factor of 2x outside of x plus 2. Is there a common factor here? It is minus 5 outside of x plus 2. So we've just split it up into nice parts in that sense. And now we've got this common factor here of x plus 2. So you get x plus 2 and 2x minus 5. So there are our two factors. Well, we're taking this out, and we're leaving 2x minus 5. Let's look at that again with 3 out the front. 3x squared minus x minus 10. I'm just using these numbers because I know they'll work, not for any other reason. But again, 3 times 10 is 30. We're looking for two numbers that multiply together to give 30. We could go through them. 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6. We want to get to minus 1. Here's how we're going to get to minus 1. So let's write it out. 3x squared minus 6x plus 5x minus 10. And again, we can check it. There's the 3x minus 10. We've split this minus x into minus 6x plus 5x. Minus 6x plus 5x gives us the minus x because of the 5 and the 6. We group them together again. Look at these two first. Take out a common factor, 3x outside of x minus 2. Take out a common factor here of 5. So it's going to be plus 5. And what do we get? X minus 2. Again, we've got this same common factor. So it becomes 3x plus 5 outside of x minus 2. And that's how you do them if there is a number out the front. I might just do one more. Let's do, it's always a bit scary. Let's do 4x squared minus 3x minus 10. We want to factorise this again. We look for two numbers that multiply together to give 40. 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 4 times 10. There's a 5 times 8. The 5 times 8 is going to give us the 3, 5 minus 8. So it's going to be 5 minus 8 gives us the 3. The 4 and the 8 are going to go together because they're nice numbers. The 4 and the 5 wouldn't go together, so I'm going to write it as this equals 4x squared. Instead of minus 3x, it's going to be minus 8x plus 5x minus 10. The minus 8x plus 5x gives us the minus 3. And again, we're going to look at these two first. 4x outside of x minus 2 plus 5 outside of x minus 2. And then we're just going to look at taking this out as a common factor. X minus 2 outside of 4x plus 5. And that's how you factorise a quadratic. Hope that's made some sense of it. Thanks for listening.